Big Daddy football family, welcome once again. And you know that when there's a new video, it's because Orlando Pirates have played. As I'm only doing Orlando Pirates post-match tactical analysis. So this one is for Orlando Pirates versus Baroka. Gameplay the Esgodini Orlando. It's the Nedbank Cup, last 16. And Orlando Pirates comfortably won, 3-1. And honestly, Orlando Pirates looks differently when they're playing cup competitions. They look like a completely different team. They look like a team that wants to win and is going to win by hook or crook. Whichever way that you try and play or you try and defend against them, they are going to win. They look completely different team when they're playing cup competition as opposed to playing the league, right? Going into the lineup, same lineup, right, that played Sundowns. Difference is Makhubu was dropped and Umabasa started that particular game. What was also interesting was Mosele is still not fit to play, not in the 20, Nda and Mbogazi. I honestly think that this Nedbank Cup game against Baroka was a perfect game to start a player like Umbegezile Mbogazi, because I think he's an amazing centre-back, left-footed centre-back, that is aggressive, that is strong, that can shield, in 1v1 situations, even physically, that is able to manage those situations. So I hope this is the game for him, because I honestly think that in the DDC is the best player. I honestly think that in the past, the game that the under 20 COSAFA Cup, I think he was one of the best players. As well as the Carling Cup against Marquez. I think he was one of the best players on the pitch. So I was hoping this was going to be the game that was going to start. But coach decided, obviously, otherwise in this particular game. But the other interesting observation, right, when the game started was Orlando Pirates started with the same shape that they started the second half against Sundowns. So they started with a 3-4-3 in this particular game. But what I noticed was the continuous shift from a 3-4-3 into a 4-3-2-1. And I think it happened twice. The continuous shift, and the players that you could see that were showing you that there's a shift was Uhoto moving on the left hand side or moving on the right hand side. When he's on the left, he plays more of a winger as a wing back, and obviously on the right hand side, then Diano plays a wing back. But on the other end, then he becomes a winger in the particular. So that was an interesting observation that constituted switch. And one of the coaches in the TTB show WhatsApp group did mention that this is how Jose normally does. So it was very interesting. The other thing was that I'm seeing that Orlando Pirates is now adding and embracing an unusual game model. You all know that in a position-based side or position-based team, they're not going to play long balls. They all want to keep the ball on the feet. But if you look at Orlando Pirates, they have started, I've seen it a lot where they're playing long balls, especially because they seem, I think the coach is seeing that the center backs are not comfortable playing. So they always opt to then play that long ball. And if you look at the runs are always being made in between the opposition defenders, in between them, which I found very interesting. But there are two problems that I'm seeing at Orlando Pirates. But for now, I'm going to talk about two, and then I'm going to talk about the other later. Is Orlando Pirates seem to now have a new problem, and that problem is playing a high line with their center backs. And if you look at their center backs, they are very, very slow. And for me, there's 2v2 situation. Sometimes they're able to isolate one of the center back on the side. And then obviously on those 1v1 situation, especially Kogi, the striker is always going to win that battle. And for me, that is very, very risky. I call it a high risk, high reward, the way especially the 2-2 rest defense, there is with the high line and the offside trap as well. The other thing is the uncomfortability of Orlando Pirates, when they are pressed. They look nervous. And for me, those are two observations that I noticed in this particular game. So then in the second half, I saw that Undlondlo was subbed in for Umakaula. I understand Umakaula obviously needs to be rested. He has played a lot of games. He's 35 years old or so. And we need him as well for Wednesday when Orlando Pirates play against Arrows, right? I understand that. But what confuses me is Ndlondlo playing ahead of Rasebocha. Because if you look at Rasebocha, he's always been in the first 20. But in this game, all of a sudden Ndlondlo plays ahead of Raseboch. I thought that Uras is ahead of Ndlondlo. I thought that you want to give Uras more minutes to prepare him that he can possibly start when Dlamini or Mbata, are not playing well, or even Makaula, in that particular. But I've seen that Ndlondlo plays ahead, and then my worry is, does that mean Ndlondlo is ahead? Because if that is the case, then you want to see Ndlondlo more going forward, because then he's ahead. He's been given minutes and be prepared that he can possibly start. So that will be very interesting to see going forward how that works, right? I honestly think that Ndlondlo has been given a multiple chances, especially to play the 6 and the 8 role, and I'm still not convinced that he is Orlando Pirates material in my own view. But I also feel sorry for Ndlondlo, because I think Jose has been fair on him as a coach, in a sense that he's been played off position. When Orlando Pirates bought him from Gallants, it's because he was playing as a 10, and he was doing well and scoring goals as a 10, and he had two centre backs or two central midfields behind him. He didn't have to worry so much about going back and mark, or even losing the ball. But now at Pirates, he's played as a 6 and times at 8, and I think he looked very uneasy playing that particular position. And people are going to say Ndlondlo has failed around the Pirates, and I honestly think that part of him failing is because of him being played out of position. But, the coach obviously knows better. But the other thing as well is Orlando Pirates build-up game. I think, guys, it looks messy. All of a sudden, without Unda, without Tusesane, Orlando Pirates build-up it just look different. The players, they look uncomfortable, they look nervous, they look very clumsy, they look afraid, they're afraid to make mistakes. They always want to play safe, play route one football whenever they are pressed, and they look like they are panicking anytime the ball is passed to any of them, including Ushaile. You can see sometimes that he a little bit panics and wants to go for the easy route of playing a long ball instead of playing through the press, man. Play over the press, or play a defensive splitting passes, especially when the central midfielders, they avail themselves, So for me, I think that build-up has a mistake waiting to happen. And I think in one of these good games, one is going to make mistakes, or another person is going to concede, or somebody's going to miss a clear goal opportunity. Congratulations to Mabasa for scoring a hat-trick. It's not a thing that happens every day in the PSL to have a player that can score a hat-trick. But for me, the most influence was with Tito, especially on the 2 goals. When he started play, gave it to the left to make the run into midfield, got the ball, play that 1-2, make the run into the box, back into Mabasa. I think that was a very, very interesting combination play. I think also Umabasa spoke about it, in his post-match, being named as the man of the match, the combination play and the understanding that they have. Second goal, same thing. Goal come to him, back heel, pass, assist, 2 assists that he had. I think, Utito was just showing class, but I expected Orlando Pirates to win this particular match. But the last thing that I want to mention are 2 players from Baroka that impressed me was Ukabelo Khositsile. He's about 20 years old, he's turning 21 this year, speedy left-footed player. He's a raw talent. He reminds me of Saleng. I love how direct it is, in his game, just like Saleng. I think next season is going to be in the PSL. Mark my words. In this video, he's going to be playing PSL next season in any of those teams. The second player is Esgodini Maliba. I think this one was mentioned by Ungwane, from the TTV show WhatsApp group. The boy is 23 years old, left-footed. For me, he's a duplicate of Dlamini. Whatever Dlamini does, he just does it for Baroka. What I like about him the most is that he doesn't hold onto the ball at all. He loves Udlalanje in niga, niga famba, the way Adalanga corner. Johan Kraft, guys, he once said playing football is very simple. But playing simple football is the hardest thing there is. And I think Esgodini Maliba makes that looks very, very simple, because he plays as simple as possible, but I think very, very effective. For me, those are 2 players. But congratulations to Orlando Pirates. I think in Nedbank Cup, it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm hoping the sponsor is very, very happy that it looks like the big teams, are going through. We're waiting for Sundowns to see how it's going to happen tomorrow. But that should also be another ticket score in my own view. So I think the Nedbank Cup, it's going to be very, 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 very interesting, the quarterfinals. Thank you, please like, share and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and also comment and let me know what did I miss, and we start dissecting. Tell me what you think of what I saw. Bafethu, thank you.